Oh, what's good, H?
Yo, 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 what's up, B?
Ain't nothing, man. So, thank you for joining me. And for those of y'all who are joining me, this is a conversation with one of my oldest friends, my boy H, Harold Logan we went to college together in North Carolina. And we've been friends now for, what is it, damn near 20 years?
20 years, my guy.
Bro,
20 years,
that's
man.
that's
Um,
fucking crazy.
Start of you running down the hall with Barbarossa to praying
My
to
God.
now. You know what I mean? It's
Not you jumping right into the story.
right into it, man. Let's dive into it, man. It's been a wonderful ride, man, and I
Wow.
was honored when you asked me to be a part of this, man. I cleared my whole schedule out to make this happen, man. So I love it. Let's do it.
I appreciate it. So just to give y'all a little bit of a heads up, this conversation, and all the conversations that y'all are going to see in this series are had with friends, colleague
Yeah.
community that I value, and having real and honest conversations about how we journey, how we live therapeutically. This isn't all like simply about journeying our way or finding our way into therapy as in the therapy room, but has a lot more to do with what does it mean to live therapeutically, to have therapeutic relationships and encounters. And so with H knowing me from, way back, I just thought it would be a great friend to have a conversation with around life and, all that goodness. H, I'm gonna start off with a simple question, and that's just how are you coming in? Like what's good? How you coming in?
Man, I mean, I think this is such a thought provoking question, and this is why you are you. I'm coming in a space of excitement, of
Hmm.
curiosity on how this conversation is going to go, but I'm also embracing the authenticity of how you and I have always been able to communicate. Man, I'm excited, curious, but I know throughout this entire conversation, man, we're gonna have so much fun, man, and it's gonna
Hmm.
radiate through these microphones, man. Just how we've been able to communicate thus far. I mean, it's been so cool how we grew up together, how we learned so much from each other, and this to be able to have this come full circle and for us to now connect in our professions and just vibe out, man. I'm excited. So
Okay.
I'm coming in with sheer anticipation on how crazy this conversation is gonna go. Yeah, man. How about
Man,
yourself, man? How about you? How are you coming in, man? I love it.
shit. I usually only, you got me. I'm accustomed to only asking the question. Don't know how I'll ever answer it.
Oh man, I love that. That was too pivotal, man. I like that. How you coming in?
Yeah. I'm coming in pretty good. I'm also excited for this conversation. I think uh my head's a little bit in the clouds because it was you.
Yeah,
I found myself going back to some of my writing, some of my poetry,
yeah, man.
um, because you've been so instrumental in, I think, even me finding my voice poetically, because that was a big part for me, at least in college. I mean, I was writing poetry before that, like I had my, what is it, acrostic, where you write, like, if you have a name and then you write a line for each letter. I was writing my love notes since like third grade. I had my poetry
Man.
book, so like it was
Cool.
there.
Yeah,
But it was definitely in college with you that really kind of came to the forefront. And so, and with Lusky and, others. And so, like, I'm kind of coming in that headspace. And then also, bro, I hate kind of low key. I don't hate this. It's just hard.
yeah.
Getting on camera, having conversations, trying to be a meaningful adult that has shit to say, and you should listen to it. Like it's
But it's
I don't
all
know,
about
but I'm still coming
forward.
in. That's how I'm coming in with those nerves. I
Yeah,
gotta,
I respect that.
at least for me, acknowledging them helps me to move past them. Like
Yeah,
they hear and they gonna have to watch. So.
yeah. Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him.
So again, like the reason I hit you up and I called you is that I'm trying to create meaningful content with my community that's born out of the relationship that we have,
Yeah,
and I think right now, especially, what brought me into even starting to do this was a lot of pain and a lot of grief. And in that place of pain and grief, really feeling so strong that you gotta create. You gotta, you have to create. And so, a week of tears. And during that week, starting to write and construct this, as my outlet in the midst of grief, while also still being present and helpful for others, and, like all the things. And so, in your life, for me, a part of what I wanted to jump into is that, your life as a coach, bro, we went to Johnson and Wales,
Yeah, we
we
did. We didn't go to coaching school.
we was in culinary labs.
Yeah,
We
but
became chefs together
yes,
and hospitality professionals, and
yes,
you
we did.
know got our degree in business, and like fitness and coaching and psychology weren't necessarily on our thoughts, hearts, minds
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
at the time. And so, like, can you share with me maybe just a little bit about, like, I hate when people say, like, or make statements as if sometimes we do something that's so left field, like, oh, that's so left field. But I have found, at least in my work, that this stuff is never left field, that it's always
Yeah,
been there in one way or another. And so I guess I'm curious for you, and making such a pivotal journey, and pivotal move from out of food and chocolate and small business into fitness, like how was that always there for you, and when did it take, like what helped you make that center stage, if that makes sense?
man, my son, Levi.
Hmm.
I was not the father I wanted to be or the husband I wanted to be when I was in chocolate. I love I love that company. I love creating it. I am still close friends with the owners that I sold it to my business partners. But there was a time when I was so headstrong and focused on I needed to provide financially for my son that
Mhm.
outweighed the time that I needed to spend with him. The same thing with Aria, the same thing with my wife. And as long as I was bringing home the hunt, I was going out hunting, I was bringing home the kill. As long as I was doing that, the time didn't seem so sufficient to me. And I let my circumstances, I let my life, I let my mindset take center stage when my body, my sanity, my spirit was all compartmentalized in this little hole where I could always come back to. I said, okay, I'm doing this right now. I'm sacrificing time to I'm getting to B, sacrificing A to get to B, and eventually C will be able to allow me to be whole. But that's not how it worked, man. It don't work like that. So, well, at least it didn't work like that for me. So
Right.
there was a time when I came home from a convention, came home from chocolate convention, and Ari called me and said, "Man, yo, Levi's crawling." And I was like, "That it's first time he's crawled. I can't wait to get home." I rushed
Mhm.
home, and I couldn't even. When I got home, he was crawling to me, and I couldn't even keep up with him. Like, I mean, I got on all fours, and I was so mentally, physically drained. I sat there, and he just crawled around me. I couldn't even like move because I was so tired. And
Mm.
then I looked at myself, and I let my thought of success get in the way of my health.
Mm.
And that moment was when
Mhm.
I chose to look at myself in the mirror. I did not like what I saw.
Mm.
I was ashamed of what I saw. I thought I was doing something so good and doing something so important. But
Mhm.
when I looked at myself, I didn't see me.
Mm.
And that was one of the lowest moments that I've ever had in life. And I chose that moment that I needed to change. And the biggest thing that I did, the most important thing that I did, one of the most important things that I did was sell my chocolate company. And I told myself that I needed to get me back because I was losing myself. And man, when I tell you that was scary, boss, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was
Mhm.
a failure. I thought, was I in was I stupid for selling a company? Why not just lose the weight and keep the company? What was I doing? But I everything in me told me I needed a fresh start. I needed to do something, and I needed to do something different. It was one night, man. I was sitting in the front of the computer. Ari was asleep. Levi was asleep. I was literally looking at a blank screen on the computer,
Mhm.
not knowing where I was going to go in life. He told me to put down "Be Great," guys. He said, just
Mhm.
write "Be Great." And I was like, all right, okay. I wrote it down and I looked at it for an hour. I didn't know why he sent it to me. I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I put it on the screen. But I put it on the screen. I closed the computer. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I knew that Be Great Guys was going to be me changing my life for the better. Never thought it was going to be a company. Never thought it was going to be a business. Never thought it was going to be what it is today. It was just Ari and myself walking through the park with Levi. I made these shirts that had Be Great Guys on it. She had one, I had one. And we just was walking through the park trying to be healthy together, eating right, eating better.
Mhm.
And this one lady saw us one day and she asked us what did Be Great Guys mean. And all that I could think of was I'm just trying to get my life back better for my son and my wife. And I'm trying to live healthy. And she told me that I've been trying to do that for 60 years. I've been so consumed with food. I'm letting food beat me. And she said, you and your wife just saves me. And you should do something with Be Great Guys.
Mhm.
And I looked at Art. I looked at her. I was like, I don't know if I want to do another entrepreneurship thing. I don't know. I'm a little
Mhm.
scared. But she said, God talked to us, and you can run away from it if you want to, but
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't think I'm gonna let you run away from this. And
Mhm.
so, fast forward a couple of months, man, we started doing meetups in the park, free meetups in the park. We would do, say, the same park, Freedom Park. You know Freedom Park, the one we ate
Yeah.
sushi at. Same one. We would have these free meetups, man. It started off as 3 people, then it ended up being 30 people. And
Mhm.
we were just talking, and like we would make free lunches for everybody, and they would all be healthy lunches. We would all do this little potluck and just go around the group and talk about our story, talk about why we're trying to be healthy, why we're trying to do this, and how this group has helped us, and just us walking and us trying to edify each other. So that turned into a thing, man. And that thing showed me that just because I was in a space that I had so much fun, I had so much love in with Johnson and Wales, that doesn't mean that my next page had to be that. My next page can be whatever it wanted to be as long as God is
Period.
in. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I believed in
Mhm.
that, and my friend, not all my friends, but some of my people, my close friends, some of my close family members thought I was crazy. They thought
Mhm.
absolutely insane to go from not even the money that we spent in Johnsonville, what not even that, but just like such a prestigious school and having your culinary degree and just going to 180 and now doing health and fitness and behavioral change. It took me until 2 years ago when I correlated everything. When I correlated my culinary degree to all of my certifications within behavioral change and coaching, to where God knows exactly what he's doing, man. Like he had me understand the science of food so I can teach it to my clients today. Because if I didn't go to Johnson and Wales, I would have never understood the science of food. Just because I'm not cooking it doesn't mean I don't understand the science of it.
Mhm.
So when that happened, I mean, my confidence in the business kind of took off.
All right. I don't, it's amazing the ways that we can kind of take relationships that we value
Yeah,
so much, in some ways a little bit for granted, and we lose curiosity
yeah,
unknowingly.
absolutely. Yeah,
Because to me, I remember being in college and going and working out with you, So in my mind, when I started seeing, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. You
yeah.
always been on your fitness journey, always been about it, So like I, in a lot of ways, had no idea that this was the story. What you just shared was the story about
Yeah.
what got you. I had no concept of it.
A lot of people don't, man. I don't really share. I share a little bit of it, but I don't. This is one of the. I think this is the second time I actually shared it like this,
Yeah.
and it was yeah, yeah, it was, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, man. I mean, it was scary.
Mm.
It was scary, but I had so much joy in it that I didn't care if it succeeded or not. Now, because when you start something new, man, it's like I knew that I wanted this to be a thing when it became an actual business. I wanted to be able to help people. And when it became a business, the joy of me actually coaching somebody or just talking to somebody, not even coaching them, not even having them as a client. It's like I train more clients for free than I do paid because I enjoy it so much. It's just it's in me now. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Mm,
not even a business, it's just who I am now. So that's where the switch happened because I'm not chasing money. I'm not chasing a client. I'm not chasing that next contract. I'm just out here being exactly who God wanted me to be, and the business is doing this thing. And it's been the best it's ever been because I've been true to that time when I was looking at that computer screen and God gave me that word. God gave me the name. So if he gave it to me, why do I need to worry about another client? Why do I need to worry about or if it's gonna flop this month? I'm a failure this month. I didn't. Nah, man,
mhm,
just be yourself. If you
mm,
be yourself and you continue to do exactly what you were here to do and you have joy in it, man, nothing's gonna go wrong for you. And it hasn't. You know what I mean? And when you have a pivot, you make a turn, you keep it moving. That's what you do in entrepreneurship, and you don't even gripe about it, man. You love the game, man. That's just be a part of the game and love the game.
You know what I'm thinking about, H, when I hear you say that? It's so random and almost has nothing to do with what you just said.
Oh, I love it. What's up?
Do you remember Kato Mate?
Tomate. Come on, man. Oh man, that's a
That
long
is
time ago.
exactly what
That's a long time ago.
everything you do. Kato Mate.
Tomate.
I don't remember who the comedian was or what it is from, but it's like the coolness of black people that we catch the wind in our hand.
Absolutely.
You
Real
know?
talk. Yeah.
And that what you just said. I mean, it took me right back to that. I
Yeah.
remember walking down, what is that, trade? Dude, Tomate. Oh my God. H, I think a part of what is really standing out to me because of, a part of what I wanted to do with this is to talk about those like therapeutic encounters, those little moments that happen, because as a therapist, I'm actually really, really not interested in like just trying to push people to go into therapy because it's costly. Finding a good one takes time and energy. There's fraught with so many things, and so it's actually kept me from doing this kind of stuff, this kind of work. And what happened between you and the woman when you made the shirt, you having the shirt and wearing the shirt for her
Yeah.
was a therapeutic encounter.
Absolutely.
Her sharing what your shirt and what you were living and doing for you was a therapeutic encounter.
100% it was. Absolutely.
And that therapeutic encounter led to life change.
Yes.
I swear I could listen. The whole time you was talking about that, I just was getting so many chills,
Yeah, man.
because you were simply living your life to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
You went and got a shirt made, it's just maybe a dream or a form of, it was just a seed of encouragement for you at the time.
Yeah, that's all. All right, myself. That's it.
And then this total stranger
Yeah.
dealing with the very things that caused you to break down
Yep.
and make the shirt in the first place. I mean, if that won't preach, brother, I don't
Um,
know.
I don't know. I didn't get her
And then for
name.
your hold on, I'm not done yet. And then for your
Okay.
first and for your first time
Yeah. Yeah.
to be hosted, and then you do it in a park.
Yeah. Yep.
I just listen. And then to watch you on the news and see that you've written a book and doing all this stuff so many years after that. Maybe
Yeah.
not even that many years after that, but I don't even have a question or a statement. I mean, this is, I don't know. It's beautiful. I don't know what, like, I just feel like I just saw a flower open up, or like caught a moment that you don't typically catch. And I mean, that is fucking stunning.
I appreciate it, man. That means a lot, man. It really does. And it all comes when we really sit down and think about our life and our past and our present and the gift that we have in memory. You remember things and you remember seeds that are planted. We had our moment in City View. Our mo- when we had our moments of coaching each other with word. You know what I mean? When we would go to Amelie's 2, 3 in the morning and we'll have a sheet of paper and you'll write a line, then you pass it to me, I'll write a line and we will birthed this creation together. It was five of us. You know what I'm saying? We'll write a poem together, or we would write a prayer together, or we would just sit, talk, and just reminisce and vibe out. 2, 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning sometimes. We'll play music, man. We have our homie will come with a guitar. We don't even know him, but he's over there by himself. Come over here. I mean, it's just all of these moments of fellowship, man, and these moments of public speaking, these moments of coaching each other, and we have these moments in life that we think are just for that moment in time, but they're never for that moment in time. God doesn't work like that. God doesn't just give us something and never give it to us again. He always downloads something in us for us to have, lean into, and pull back from later, especially with memory. And that's where friendships are cultivated. That's when, if we are in the same space or in a space like this where we can go to church, we can do something, we can make it a whole different type of situation, or just conversation like this. It's a beautiful thing, man. And you guys have always been Lael. Shout out to Lay.
Hmm.
Lou, Jules a little bit. That's my homie. Jules was wild, but when he came over, he had some he had some word. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother. We can talk about that. That's a whole shout, shout, shout out to my guy Jay. That's my boy, but he's
Hmm.
downloaded some great stuff into me, and I mean, and just the whole tribe, man. And we went through a lot of time together, just sitting, leaning in on each other, and learning from each other, man.
Hmm.
And all of those moments are moments of joy with writing the book, with being in these different arenas and different spaces. There's times when I'm in networking events and I think about you guys. I think about Corey. I think about Kurt, and it just brings so much joy to me because I know that we are all living our life the best way we can.
Hmm.
We don't see each other as much as we want to, but we know that all it takes is a call. We're here today and this talking, you and I, you know what I mean? And it's just a beautiful moment. I thank you guys for always being authentic, for always treating me with respect and just loving me for who I am, man, because I mean, I'm not different, but I'm me, and I don't apologize for me being me. And you have embraced that and accepted me, and that has been one of the best gifts that I've been able to acquire from friendship. And you're one of those select few that has always accepted me for who I am from day one.
It's
So,
I'm like taking hard trips down memory lane. So like
go
you
ahead.
talking, like I'm here and I'm not here.
Sounds good.
You still living in Charlotte. I ain't there no more. So
Yeah, no,
I don't
yes,
transport as often. But I'm thinking about the fact that right before this, I was like looking over poetry and
yeah.
looking over my writing and
Mhm.
thinking about how much your voice in a lot of ways has been internalized for me. And it's been through that, like, in finding my voice in writing, I think, you, Lael, Lusky, thinking and writing poetically.
Yeah,
Our conversation when I asked you to do this actually gave me a little bit of insight into how I even start to read my own work. That I'll
yeah,
write something that's just meant to be like a write. And I went through grad school and I see the critiques and stuff. And then I like had to think, oh, I tend to kind of write like spoken word
yeah,
more than APA and like I tend to, my cadence, how I think, how I process is more from a communication standpoint with a little bit of theater. And so
yeah,
my writing oftentimes reflects that. It has like a poetic bent. And so then I started to go back and started to read it more like spoken word than trying to read it as a intellectual essay of some sort,
yeah,
around this thing or that thing. Rupture and repair. Like I wrote this piece on rupture and repair, and it's spoken word. That is not like I started to read. I'm like, oh my God. Like, how did I not know that this is what I was doing?
Yeah.
And it's literally in having some conversations with you about life and creativity and the role that like poetry has played in our friendship, and thinking about the ways that I've internalized your voice. When I left for college, there was a handful of things I wanted to do. I had a little bit of a list.
Yeah. Okay.
You've probably heard this list before. I'm sure you've heard this story in one way or another. I came to college. Yes, I wanted to get my degree and like all this stuff. But I wanted to, for the first, I wanted to sleep with a white girl. I wanted to sleep with an Indian girl. I wanted to sleep with an Asian girl. I wanted to, experiment
Yeah.
in other ways
You
sexually.
okay?
And of real. Well, not to say that those weren't real because they were, but a more wholesome and honest desire of mine that I remember concretely, like being on my bed. I don't even think I was praying, but I was like desperately desiring. I was like,
Yeah.
I want those real ones, like I want real friends. And it's so amazing the ways that y'all were that for me. I generally don't know if I could ever express the ways that y'all have actually changed and transformed my life. I think I told you, you were the first male friend that, was so comfortable with showing love and affection and would hug and kiss you on the cheek. Like it was so, in some ways, it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I never felt anything weird off of you, no vibe, nothing like that. But like you were just so fucking comfortable. Wow,
Yeah.
this nigga, like, but I had never, I had
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
never had
Yeah.
friendship like that, and the
Yeah.
ways that y'all just looked out for each other and looked out for me. And, I could be wild. I could say some crazy shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And like knew my heart well enough to be able to call me back. I was like, all right, B, sometimes you gotta call me back,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go a little too far, excuse me. But most of the time it's helpful, I hope. And man, I'm just the role that love and that poetry plays in creating an internal voice that is affectionate, that is thoughtful, that is careful with words, and that is masculine is
Yeah.
such a fucking gift.
Appreciate that, man. That means the world. That means the world to hear, man. I really appreciate it. And it was just me being me. I was just were back then. You seemed like you could have been a good ass friend. My pop always taught me. He said, "Man, if you find one, you're lucky. If you find one, you. If you find two, stay by them as much as possible. You know what I mean? And we have been fortunate to find many. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's not even. I mean, people can't even find one that they can trust, and I know I can count on my hand and have two hands that I can call on people, and you're one of them. And to be able to just be myself, man. Like I'm not. I won't. I mean, I don't know. I'm just. I love you, bro. So I'm gonna hug you. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna kiss you. I mean, shit, man. I don't know. You my boy. But it is. You know what I mean? How. That's just how I always been, man. And it's not even. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think. I don't think nothing of it. I don't. And the fact that you said it is like, damn. Did I kiss you on the cheek?
Well,
Yeah.
you
You
did
did.
that to everybody. Not
I did.
everybody,
But
but like
no, no, no.
you did
I didn't
not
do
do
that.
that to everybody. I know. I had
Yeah.
to resend it real quick, but you know what I mean.
But I mean, it's just. I mean, it's just who I am, and I've always had that
Yeah.
spirit in me. I ran from it for so long before I came to school. Well, before I came to college. And then when I came to college, man, I was like, this is an opportunity for me to be authentically me and not even think any way about it. If I said, God, if you will allow me to have the confidence to be who I am, I'm just gonna ride with you, man. I know I'm gonna find the woman of my dreams. I know I'm gonna find some good ass brothers to be around. I'm gonna have a beautiful family. I know I'm gonna be able to just learn from my mistakes, grow from them, and keep shooting the shot, man. Keep staying in the game. And I've been blessed to be able to have that life so far, and I just continue to hope and pray that I get to live it as much as and long as humanly possible.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Man, I want to know, we're talking about school, man. I want to know why Johnson and Wales, man. Why did you choose Johnson and Wales? Or why did Johnson and Wales choose you?
Hmm. Damn, ain't nobody asked me that in a long time. Well, I'll tell you this. At the time, I felt like it was the school that was going to give me the most well-rounded education because I already knew off jump I wasn't going to school to be the executive chef of a
Yeah,
cater of some. I was the executive chef of a catering company, but I wasn't
you
going
were.
to school to be
I
like.
worked, so you were. Don't
But I
act
wasn't
like
going to.
you were. Come on now.
I didn't go to school to like for that to be the end goal. I
Yeah,
knew that I wanted a degree in business. I knew that I was an entrepreneur,
yeah.
and I knew that I had a passion for food and for hospitality. And so I didn't want to be one of those people who like just had one or the other. I wanted both. I wanted the hard expertise of being in the back of the house, of learning the stuff in the classroom, of becoming a chef, learning the ins and outs of the restaurant industry from that perspective, and also the business side, so that whenever the time came for me to open something up or do something, I had real body knowledge and experience, top to bottom, about what I was about to get myself into. I looked at the CIA, Culinary Institute of America, this other school in Boston. Ain't no way I was going to nobody's art institute. No shade for anybody who did. It just wasn't enough for me and for like what I was kind of going for. And so, yeah, Johnson Wales Uni, it had a strong business background. It had a strong hospitality. And the culinary is, top in the US, top in the world in some ways. And so like I just was for where I was and what I wanted to do and, be a restaurateur and own a bunch of different stuff, like it just felt like the right place. Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm in the same boat. I felt the same way. I knew it was something more when I came to JWU. I didn't even know what that something more was, but I knew it was beyond the classical thought of kitchen. And that's the beauty of being able to fly your own way. You know what I'm saying? Because you learn and you still are able, when you live in this life, man, you still have so many roads and paths you can take. You're not just structured or tailored to one path, man. You can pivot, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's where we were able to both understand that yes, Johnson and Will held a beautiful space in our life, but we can now use that as a springboard to do what we are doing now. And still pulling back that knowledge from those teachings and from those classical teachings to be able to implement into our coaching programs, into your therapy. And those that's when and I'm not trying to get all deep, man, but that's when I realized that I was more coming into who I really wanted to be or who I am, because I didn't allow anything to or anyone to tell me that I was doing something wrong because I was doing this for so long. I went to
Right.
school, in middle school to high school, to go to Johnson and Wales, to get the scholarship, to go to Johnson and Wales, to do all the things that we did. And now in 2016, I made a pivot, and everybody looking at, oh man, why you do that? It's not really meant for you to understand. I mean, it's meant for me to understand. It's meant for me to understand and move on from it. And that took a while for me to say that with so much like confidence
Say it with your
and
chest. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
authority. You know what I'm saying? It took a while. You stupid. It
yeah.
it it's true. I mean, like, we don't. We are on this earth for such a short period of time. We are gone longer than we will ever be on this earth. So why would I let anything, anyone, or anybody tell me how to live this short existence of me being on this earth? I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I will only go to the beat of the music that God has created for me, and I'm going to try to two step the hell out of it as much as I possibly can. Ride this shit out. So yeah, calm down, bro. Stop getting so deep, bro. Calm down.
I done went somewhere. Oh, child. Yeah.
Yo, you're a fool, bro. But yeah, man, it's true, man. It's just like,
I
why?
would need you not to be reading my mind through all this technology. Yeah, I was gone. Man. No, I mean, it's just so much in what you just said holds so many keys to liberation. And that's why, again, I like talking about therapeutic encounters and how people can kind of like lean into them.
Yeah,
Like that moment you had at the park with that woman, you leaned into it. And
yeah,
in leaning in, all of this essentially was birthed. You could have been like, "Oh, that lady crazy," and you just walked out, and you could have never did nothing with that, or you could have waited too long.
Yep, 100%, man. You are 1,000% accurate. And I don't even know her name. I never seen her again. It's crazy, bro. That was that was it for me, and I can't go back off of God giving me that. I mean, I can't. No way.
I think something in what you're saying, at least for me, what's landing is, especially when we can hear it well,
Yeah,
you can say the same thing one way to one person, and we can't always hear something well.
absolutely.
So, but it can be so helpful in moving on from grief.
Yeah,
Grief is healthy. We need it. We grieve to the degree by which we value something. And so if something is deeply valuable to us, that is why we are grieving. And so it's inappropriate to try to push people out of grief too quickly. There's something they're working out and it needs to have its complete course, so that they can actually then internalize that value and keep it moving. And where grief goes to get stuck is what we call depression. And when grief is stuck, and to me, what I'm hearing you talk about, or at least what it brings up in me, of I'll be gone more than I'll be here,
hmm
is a way of saying there's not much time without pulling out a clock on somebody or tapping your foot and being like, "How long are you going to be here? You ain't over this yet?" In a kind of nasty old church lady way, mean old church lady way, not, they're all not mean, but like that one, like that can really discourage you and break your heart.
absolutely.
But yet, with how you said what you said, it feels like a gentle and a kind invitation. There's so much that can be for you,
Yeah,
and there's not much time. Would you like what's plentiful and for you, or
absolutely.
would you like to stay here? No, and that is a much gentler invitation. Um, that just took me it just took me somewhere, because even in this, me choosing to do this creative work is also therapeutically impact.
Absolutely, because you were doing out the complete purpose of what God created you to live out.
Mm,
He written out your story, and the closest thing you will ever get to perfection is when you live out the story that God has created for you and do it in a way that you are joyful. I'm
mm,
saying we will never be perfect on this earth. God didn't create us like that, but the closest we can be to that is when you act and be and live out your authentic self.
mm,
When you are your true Brian, when you are your true B, when I'm my true H, that's the closest thing we can get to his level of perfection, man. And
mm,
that's how I
mm,
started to live my life these last couple of years. And especially because I want Levi to always see his father be true to himself.
mm, mm,
If I'm working at a 9 to 5, if I'm doing my entrepreneur thing, if I'm living out my dream, if I'm living out somebody else's dream, I'm always going to be true to me. And the way I talk to Ari, I want him to always see that. I want him to see how I treat Cali Girl. I want him to see how I talk to him. I want him to always see his father as somebody that it will always be himself. And ultimately, my investment in him seeing that is for him to come out into this world as a beautiful, beautiful male, has his own authority, has his own courage, his own heart to be able to not listen to anybody else other than his true feelings for himself and be himself. Not code switch, not try to be like somebody else to fit or conform. I want you to be you, son, because I'm always going to show you me. I'm never going to be somebody else. I'm always going to show you Harold. You always going to show me Levi. And I want you to have that. And I want Callie girl to see how she needs to be treated. And she will see how she needs to be treated. So I just want to live out this life as best as I can, man. The money will come, the business will come. God gave it to us already, gave it to both. He gave it to all of us. Anybody that's listening, if God is giving you something and you are leaning into it, you already have it.
mm,
So just keep believing in yourself, keep believing in that gift of a new day. Every time you open your eyes, have another gift to make it right or to keep it going or to do better than yesterday. So with that, just have us all just put down our shield, just put down the whole guard, and just be yourself, man. I mean, it's a lot easier. I tell you that when we just be who we want to be and embrace when people don't understand. They don't need to be life. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Mm, 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 mm. Well, man, I don't even know if that, that felt like the benediction.
Oh man, well, I'm trying to make it, man. It's just the conversation, man. This conversation is such a beautiful thing, man. And I had no idea where this was gonna go. I knew we would laugh, I knew we were gonna joke, but this is beautiful, man. It's like be like just think about it, bro. You are living in a space where you are able to travel, you are able to live in some beautiful spaces in life, man, and be around some beautiful people and still do what you are called to do. Do what you love. And I mean, just that in and of itself, man, is just such a blessing and such a cool place to reside because it didn't have to be like this. Like it could have been, I mean, it could be anything, man. But if you're happy, it don't matter where you live. If you're happy, it don't matter how much money you have. If you're happy, it don't matter what is going on. If you're happy, man, you're happy. And why not try to squeeze as much as that out as humanly possible to keep that for tomorrow? And then have enough to be able, when you fill your cup, you can pour out to somebody else and give somebody else a little bit. So,
Well, I'll say this, H. You know, you use the word happy, and I'm like, shit, I don't know if I'm always happy.
nah,
And what you have done, though, even in saying that, is that you return me to gratitude.
yeah,
And as I return to gratitude and see and start to calculate what I do have access to, what is in me, what has been given, and I begin to engage gratitude, it makes space for contentment. And that contentment allows me to see everything may not be causing you that feeling of happiness, but your brother just brought you into deeper joy. And that joy, if you choose to follow it, will open more and more doors to happiness. So don't get stuck on this word happiness, like what you're talking about,
yeah, that's heavy.
because happiness, shit, in 2025 happy,
Yeah,
I have my moments, 20 and the
yeah,
2024 rough,
yeah,
happy. I ain't no tap dancing penguin this year, and other years past, you damn right,
yeah,
I'll be bopping on that ice, I tell you what. And I feel like what you just said and what all of this is stirring in me
yeah,
is something much more robust, and that is joy.
yeah, man. Most definitely.
And like, I don't know, to me that is invaluable. And sticking close to those who do more for increasing your joy, I think even more than happiness, because happiness is so circumstantial, but who speak and invest and push into those places that cultivate and expand joy. Yeah, that hats off.
It's heavy,
That's
man.
powerful. Yeah.
This was awesome, man. I mean,
Mhm.
this needs to be like you doing this. And when you called me, I knew that your mind of creating and being in a creative space was going to be something different than any other show that I've been blessed to be on. And not even talking like shade, but my shows too. Like, I mean, it's the way your authenticity is and how you can say a curse word and then put Jesus right beside it. And I'm just like, and like almost like slip up. And like, I mean, it's just, bro, this is just like sophomore, junior, senior year in college, man. Like the same type of laughter, the same type of excitement, same type of joy. It's just like back then, man. We've been knowing each other 20 years, man. And I tell you, anytime we link up, it is exactly the same like I saw you last weekend. And I know not even from a success standpoint of what you're trying to accomplish within this show, within your show. When you just act like yourself, man, and when you do you and be who you are, I mean, the right person is going to see it. which will in turn be the right people. And it's not gonna feel like work. It's gonna you just talking. We're just having a conversation. You don't have to plan it. We don't have to pre-post it. We don't have to clip it for shorts and try to market it and put it all over the social to try to get clicks. Even though that's a part of business, but what you're doing something so organic, man. And I tip my hat to you, man. This is the beginning for you, man. But I think this is a beautiful starting point for you, man. And I just implore you to just always pack patience with yourself
Mm.
and of grace, and know that every single episode that you are fortunate to put out, if you lean into that recipe, it's going to be just like this one and just like the one you had with your homegirl the other week. It's going to be a beautiful conversation with two people that are trying to live this life the best way they can and have shared space in some way of life and are trying to just put out happiness, put out joy, put out lessons, put out teaching, and just hopefully that whoever listens to this can lean off of something that we went through and just believe in yourself. I mean, because if I didn't listen to that young lady, man, if I didn't listen to her, or if I didn't listen to Ari when she said, "Yo, man, I'm not gonna let you let this go," because at that moment, man, I thought, like I told you, man, I thought I was a failure. I thought I let Carolina Chocolate go too early, and I thought I missed the boat of entrepreneurship. But nah, you believe in yourself, man. You do what you want to do. And if people don't understand it, man, it's not meant for them to. Keep moving. Keep your feet underneath you. Shooting. You got it.
And this is exactly how, Be Great Guys inspired me through this work,
Yeah,
and doing therapy and even encouraging me to do this. Seeing the book, seeing you on the news, I mean, it just, something in me just screamed in the best, like screamed and laughed. And I was like, I know that's right. And to now have you, encouraging me, at the end of this, it's all coming full circle. When you laying on your bed and going through Instagram and you get your little inspiration, it's just like, man, that's the H I've always known.
yeah, yeah, man. I
That's
appreciate
why
that.
your voice is a voice that I've chosen to internalize
It's heavy.
because it's helpful,
Yeah,
because it's truthful, because it's loving, because you are earnest. That's the word I kept thinking about when you were talking about your son is earnest. You are earnest. And you've always been earnest in whatever you've done. And I think for me, that has been a quality that I have so greatly admired.
thank you, brother. That means a lot, man. I appreciate that, brother. That's huge.
Yeah, it'll take you far. It already has.
Yeah, man.
And it's already inside your kids and your wife.
Yeah. Don't talk about my babies, man. You don't want me to cry. Don't talk about my babies.
I talk about having baby fever, and I feel like there's just, some people get it, but like, you've been such a fatherly figure
Yeah,
and a nurturing figure since I've known you. And seeing you as a father only stirs my father heart. And like, I don't know, I am forever grateful for that. Because, I mean, there's men who like to be fathers. There's just not that many that I know that carry this, kind of
yeah,
joie de vie about being a father. And I still love that about you and how you think about, how you talk about your kids, how you carry them, how you love them. Yeah.
my guy. I
Can't
appreciate
say
you, big.
enough.
My
Yeah.
boy.
Well, thank you. I mean, we did this like a therapy session. We right at 59.
Yeah,
I said, dang, you started your benediction 2 minutes before the end. I said, this brother could be a therapist. He 2 minutes before the 58, 50-minute mark. I said, my God.
we learn how to keep that time moving. We definitely had to.
Well, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate I
Thanks for
appreciate you.
being a part.
It's my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me, man. I don't want this to be the last time, man. We're gonna talk so many more times offline, man. But I mean, I'm always here if you ever want to do anything, man. I mean, all you gotta do is holler at me, let me know, and I'm here for you. 100%. I
Gotcha.
support however you need support, even if that's just me watching every video you put out, watching me continue to laugh with you, joke with you, crack shit, play, pray, all that. I'm here for you, man. You my brother. I've always been. I ain't never going to not be. So I love you, boy. All right.
Love you too. Yes,
All right,
sir.
my All right. Peace.
Peace. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was fun.